Assalamu alaikum. In the last video, we were discussing about risk assessment process. Generally, we have covered up at least 3 steps. In the last video, we tried to complete the evaluation process. In that process, we generally discuss on qualitative risk assessment and quantitative risk assessment method. Today our discussion is also following of that part of the risk assessment. Today we are going to discuss on residual risk, acceptable risk and tolerable risk. These are part of the evaluation process. Before trying to discuss on this topic, I would like to highlight a thing that risk cannot be totally reduced in its nature. The reason is that if you are going to reduce the risk at fully, then the equipment or the activity or the event would be totally redundant. So the risk that remains at some part of its hazardous nature, instead of controlling it completely. Mean to say, if you have covered up the risk in total, some part of it will remain in form of risk. And that part of risk is usually known as residual risk. If this residual risk is low in nature, then it would be acceptable. But if this residual risk is higher in nature, then it would be not acceptable. Tolerable risk implies that if the risk level is very low and proper safety measures have been put in place, then the work is allowed. The other is unacceptable risk. Unacceptable risk is the risk in which the quantitative rating of the risk is very high and considered very risky if the work is to be carried out. But very interesting thing is that if these risks are controlled at all, after their controlling, a new residual risk will be generated. The other important topic is that is also relevant to evaluation of the risk process is use of guidance. Okay, the semi-quantitative risk rating system, as described earlier, is very helpful as a source of guidance and is very effective practical tool for day-to-day management of risk and decide upon strategies in the context of health and safety. at workplaces. But there is a problem with this guide. A source of guide is that a very heavy intensive work is involved in this process. But this system doesn't follow the legal system. Legal system has its own criteria and protocols. And if this source of guidance is implemented or utilized via a legal system, all your risk assessment will be redundant. Mean to say, would have no more value in health and safety management system. Next is the fourth step of risk assessment, that is principle of preventions. That is the step on which further precautions are recommended. When assessing and evaluating the risk, the next step would have to put all the measurable and preventive things in practice. It is the stage in which a risk assessor recommends to the management through a hierarchy of control method. It is a general method and having three aspects, which is described as: number one, eliminate the hazard. In elimination of the hazard is totally reduced. If the hazard is totally reduced, then the consequences of the hazard will be fallen at a reasonable stage. The second and most important hierarchy control method is create a safe person. What does it mean? It means that you have to give proper information, instruction and training to the employees, and moreover, after giving proper information, instruction, most related aspect of this hierarchy control is that you would have to use the engineering controls. Engineering control are the means in which protective barriers are applied to the moving parts of the machine to prevent the people from that type of specific hazard in the workplaces. The last one is create a safe person. Create a safe person means that you have to prepare a safe working method under which the worker, their colleagues, the equipment is safe. There is no chance of severe accident. The second last is, that is also the part of risk assessment process, is recording significant findings. Significant findings mean all the important things that you have identified and evaluated during your risk assessment process. You have to convert them in documented form. It is a legal practice, it is a legal requirement that the employer had to fulfill. And the important content of recording the significant findings step is or identification of hazards. Mean you have assessed the hazards at the workplace. Either they are severe hazard basis you have mentioned in the recording section. And the second stage is identification of the people who might be harmed and the way that they receive the risk. The third is evaluation. Evaluation is the process in which we critically examine the things and suggest the control measures. And then there is an action plan that we have to execute all the things that we identify in our recommendations. And the next is date of assessment and the name of competent assessor that have carried out the risk assessment. And the next is date review. Okay, now we consider what are the things on which risk assessment review is necessary. What are the factors you can say on which the risk assessment is reviewed? So there are number of factors on which risk assessment is reviewed on the basis of employer preference or by set legal standards upon which he has to fulfill all the things in the domain of risk assessment. The things on which risk assessment is reviewed are some of reasons that might be changing of process, that might be frequency of ill health reporting among employees, and that could be workplace environment that have been hazardous due to unwanted activity or uncontrolled environment, and it could be legal standard issue, or there are some other factors upon which the risk assessment is considered to be invalid. These are very rational causes, that is accident, ill health and near miss. We have now covered up all our 5 steps in the videos. If anybody who is new in this channel, please go back and see all the previous videos so that you may got better understanding about risk assessment. And don't forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you may got updated videos. Thank you so much.